It's 5:03 on Wednesday, the 26th of January. The House Criminal Justice Subcommittee is now in session. Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
Representatives Beck, Curcio,
Here.
Farmer, Griffey, Hardaway, Howell, Lamberth, Moody, Russell, Sexton. Chairman Doggett.
Present.
Chairman Doggett, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Members, do we have any personal orders before we begin today? Crickets? Wow. All righty. Well, we'll roll right into our first item on the calendar, House Bill 1646 by Representative Hall. You have a motion and a second. You are recognized, Representative Hall, on this bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and colleagues. Mr. Chairman, currently, the law of the great state of Tennessee regarding assaults on law enforcement canines resulting in injury or even death are nothing more than a destruction of property charge. House Bill 1646 changes all of that. It takes the shackles off of the DA and allows him and gives him the authority to charge the suspect with a Class B felony. And those that are juvenile can be tried as an adult. The motivation behind this bill, it hits home to me. We have a local canine named Joker that was ambushed on the way to a call in a auto burglary call. And after being shot multiple times and after a blood transfusion, part of his jaw being removed on a feeding tube and almost resulting in death, Joker is now back at work and has apprehended 3 suspects on his first day back. So it's my understanding that Joker is going to be the poster canine that changes the laws, not just in Tennessee, but across this country. So this bill is also endorsed by all 95 sheriffs, by the Tennessee Sheriff's Association. It received 250,000 positive responses, not just hits, 250,000 positive responses on social media, 17,000 signatures in my district. The support behind this bill is overwhelming, and all the ingredients are in this legislation. If you're pro-law enforcement, if you love animals, if you want to be a good steward of the taxpayers' money, Joker's Law and House Bill 1646 is for you. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I renew my motion.
Thank you, Representative Hall. We, if you will, stand by with us for just one moment. We're going to check on some technical issue right quick. And
yes, sir.
Then I'll be right back with you.
Yes, sir.
Without objection, we're going to take a brief recess.
They won't let me present my Joker's Law Board because they say it wasn't fine by my Senate sponsor. Yeah, I'll just roll it until it's filed, and then I'll come back. Yeah, no worries. No worries. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm sorry.
All right, members, we are going to go back into session. I apologize for that delay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, we want to make sure that this bill is in the proper posture. So if I could roll this to next Wednesday, I'd certainly appreciate it.
Leader Lambert, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have no objection to that. I just want to tell him I thought he gave a great presentation and a mighty fine speech a while ago on it. So I look forward to see what it looks like next Wednesday.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Will you be able to replicate your presentation next week?
Absolutely.
It is on tape, so we can go back and watch it. Will you wear the same suit and tie next week?
Blue.
There you go.
Thank you.
Any objection to rolling this bill to next week's calendar? Seeing none, we'll roll it to next week's calendar.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, and I
Colleagues. Thank you.
apologize for the confusion there. Next item on our calendar, House Bill 1661 by Representative Gillespie. Motion. Second. Representative, you are recognized on 1661.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee. I came here last year and presented a bill to y'all that addressed drag racing. That bill was successfully passed out of this committee and the House and Senate overall. Unfortunately, the problem with drag racing and reckless driving in general has become even more dire in Shelby County and all across the state of Tennessee. This bill, 1661, seeks to hopefully give the prosecutors and the police officers out there a little bit more tools on their tool belts to go after those people that are racing and driving erratically. What this bill would do is it would create a new offense of aggravated reckless driving while keeping the existing offense of reckless driving in place. What it would do is it would be a Class A misdemeanor and a $2,500 fine if convicted. And with that, I welcome any questions.
Representative Beck, you are recognized.
Thank you. Is there a specific incident that had you bring this bill?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, several. Many constituents, many times I've personally experienced people that have driven on the wrong side of the road to go through speed lights. I actually was almost hit about a month ago while in the left lane turning. Someone passed me on the left side to run through a red light. Had I not paid any attention to my mirrors, I would have certainly gotten hit on the driver's side. And that, unfortunately, is happening daily where I live and all across the state and the country. But yes, many specific examples.
Representative Beck.
In reading the bill, it uses the term impeding traffic is going to be this new crime. Impeding traffic can be a myriad of events. For example, if this bill passed, our pedal taverns impede traffic because they don't go the speed limit. So you're going... No comments from the peanut gallery now. So this bill would automatically make them
pedal faster.
would this bill not automatically make them in violation of the law?
That is a good question. It is my understanding that this would apply to motorcycles and motor vehicles. So I don't believe a pedal tavern, but I would have to check with legal on that. If we can, I don't know.
The pedal taverns are motorized.
Okay. Would you like to go out of session to hear from legal?
Sure. That's
Okay. That objection will go out of session. Hear from our legal advice.
Michelle Fogarty, Legal Services. In order to commit the offense of aggravated reckless driving, you have to also commit reckless driving, which is the willful or wanton disregard for the safety of persons or property. So you have to commit reckless driving and intentionally or knowingly impede traffic. So, you know, I guess that begs the question whether or not a pedal tavern is, it would have to be driving recklessly to start with.
Representative Beck.
So how do we combine, so it's got to be a combination of reckless driving and impeding?
Yes.
So impeding alone is not reckless, this aggravated reckless, is that right?
Aggravated reckless driving under the language as written is committing the offense of reckless driving and intentionally or knowingly impeding traffic.
And can you read me the definition of, Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry. Can you read the definition of, no, the definition of reckless driving, please?
Any person who drives any vehicle in willful or wanton disregard for the safety of persons or property commits reckless driving. So it's willful or wanton disregard for
Okay.
the safety.
So the threshold is we've got to do this wanton disregard, and then we have to impede to elevate us to aggravated.
It requires both, yes.
requires both. Okay, thank you. I appreciate you
Thank
finding
you.
that out to me.
Well, thank you. Can I ask a question? The definition of impede, I thought that's where you were going. But I would, if you could provide the definition of impede for me, please.
I don't believe our code defines impede. Traffic.
Very good. Well, thank you. Representative Hardaway.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I haven't signed on yet, but I've had the pleasure of working with the representative. And it would probably be helpful if he spoke to the specific cases that, instances rather, that he's trying to address. I believe he's talking about vehicles which are doing reckless maneuvers, driving in circles, doing figure eights
Representative
on the
Hardaway.
expressway.
I'm sorry to interrupt
And
you. Are
things
you
like that.
asking legal a question, or are you just advocating on this?
I'm doing a little of both, sir.
Okay, okay.
Since you want to be specific about it.
Okay.
But
Well,
when we go back in session, I think the representative, the sponsor, can offer an example, and it will help everyone understand better.
Okay, well, very good. Without objection, we're going to go back in session. And now, before we get too far down the road, there is an amendment that, Amendment Code 011995. And you
correct.
recognized on the amendment, you can speak to the amendment, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What the amendment does is basically it's just there were some spelling and grammatical errors when the bill was written, and it just corrects those. So.
Okay. Representative Griffey?
Mr. Chairman, I'm asked the representative, was there an issue with the amendment and maybe the time it was filed or something?
Not
Getting
this-
it straightened out? Or
Not this amendment. This
okay.
amendment was filed timely,
It's a different amendment.
Oh, okay. Is it
And
different
so-
bill or same bill?
Same bill, but different amendment.
it makes some typographical changes,
Yeah.
minor changes. You need to be recognized? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move previous question on the amendment.
Okay, very good. All right, we're now, now voting to add amendment number 11995 on the House Bill 1661. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes prevail. We adopt. We're now back on House Bill 1661 as amended. Chairman Curcio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move previous question.
Previous question's been called. Any objection? Only see one.
Mr. Chairman,
Now we're voting on previous question. All those in favor of previous question say aye. Aye. Those opposed? The ayes prevail. We're now voting on House Bill 1661 to send it on to full criminal. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? The ayes
Mr.
prevail.
Chairman, you didn't ask for a discussion, sir.
House
Thank
Bill
you.
1661 moves on to full criminal. Representative Hardaway, I apologize. Procedurally, we did get
I'll wait until
going there,
full,
but
sir.
if you, I would give you an
He'll be able to
opportunity to speak
offer it
now if you would
in
like,
full.
but if not, you forfeit that. All righty. Motion to adjourn. We are now adjourned. See you next Wednesday, 5 p.m. Thank you.